Um, so taking it in more detail, um, we already said the behavioral approach focuses um, on the behavior of the leader. What does that mean? Um, and how is it different than um, or other approaches? It's different than the trade approach, um, mainly because the trade approach focuses on the personality characteristics of the leader. Um, the skills approach focuses on what the leader is capable of. This specifically focuses on um, how the leader behaves toward the followers. So we have another component now. The followers are examined in this approach. So what are task behaviors? Task behaviors basically are, um, for example, a leader telling his staff what their job is, what they need to do today, what they need to finish today. So this, in essence, helps them accomplish their goals and objectives because they know exactly what they need to do. Um, what are relationship behaviors? Relationship behaviors are basically the leader, if they do exhibit these behaviors, they help followers feel comfortable with not only themselves, they help their followers be comfortable with each other, working as a team and working together, and also help them feel comfortable in the situations that they're put in and day out. So again, we emphasize task behaviors and relationship behaviors. Those are the two dynamics of the behavioral approach. Um, there were studies done at the University of Ohio State, and again, the findings were very similar to what we just spoke about. Mainly, they found that followers gravitate mostly towards initiating structure and consideration. Again, what are those two things? Initiating structure, um, it is very similar to the task behaviors, such as organizing um, work, scheduling assignments, and defining roles for followers or staff. Consideration, on the other hand, is similar to the relationship behaviors. Um, so, consideration basically is building respect within each other, trust within each other, teamwork between both the leaders and the followers. Um, there were also studies done at University of Michigan, um, and again, the findings were very similar. They found two other leadership behaviors that they called something differently, but in essence, they were the same thing as what we just spoke about at the Ohio State studies. Um, one behavior that they found was they call it employee orientation. So that one was similar to consideration in that it focused on the relationship behaviors and the personal needs of the followers. The other one was production orientation, which is similar to that of the initiating structure behavior exhibited in the Ohio State studies, um, which is basically just another word for task behaviors, and that it focused on accomplishing work tasks and work objectives. Okay, so those are the two studies that were mentioned in Norhaus. Um, Norhaus also mentioned Blake and Mountain's, I think that's how you pronounce it, Blake and Mountain's managerial grid, which used to be referred to as a leadership grid. And this grid mainly is used um, in training and development departments in big companies. Um, and the purpose of it basically, it helps explain to leaders how they can help how they can help their organizations reach their goals and their purposes through, again, two factors, which is again similar to what we just spoke about. Um, the two factors that it focuses on is a concern for production and concern for people. Um, Again, you can probably guess a concern for production is similar to task behaviors. Concern for people is similar to the relationship behaviors. Um, and the grid basically spits out five different leadership styles after you after you finish it, after you do it. Um, Basically, the number one being the lowest shows the lowest concern. Nine shows the highest concern, and there are five different leadership styles according to the grid. First one is called authority compliance, which is gives you a 9 in concern for production and 1 concern for people, which is basically an authoritarian type of leadership style basically what I say goes. Um, no regard for the relationships with people. The next one was country club management, which is 1, concern for production, 9, concern for people. So again, this is being overly concerned with the relationships and not being concerned for tasks and objectives. Hence the name country club. Just hang out, have fun, have a good time. Don't worry about what we're doing. The next one, probably the least effective one, impoverished management, which is a 1 and 1 for both concern for people and production. And that's basically nothing is done. Relationships aren't really cared for, tasks aren't really cared for. Probably the least effective leadership style. Fourth one, middle of the road management. Again, exactly what the title says. This is a 5 and a 5 for both production and for people. Right in the middle for both of those. And the last one, arguably the most effective, but the most difficult one to achieve as a leader, is the team management leadership style, which is a 9 for both concern for production and for people. Again, it takes a lot of effort on the leader to maintain or to be concerned for the relationships they have with their followers and be concerned with the tasks and jobs that they need to accomplish on a day-to-day basis.